Here are today's headlines. The Philippines gains $1.25 billion worth of investments as President Duterte attends the ASEAN-India Cooperative Summit. A surviving SAF trooper in the Mama Sapano encounter dies in a grenade explosion in Abra. About 100 million pesos worth of crops are reported destroyed in the eruption of Mayon volcano. And a restaurant in Ilocos Norte becomes a tourist destination because of its halo-halo and other Ilocano dishes. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Even before President Rodrigo Duterte left for India, at least $1.25 billion in investment had already been secured by the Philippine government from investors from India. The formal signing of the said investments was witnessed by President Duterte before returning home to Davao City from India later tonight. Here is our report.
Investment pledges and agreements from Indian firms reached a total of $1.25 billion, which are expected to generate thousands of jobs for Filipinos. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque announced this at the sidelines of the ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit 2018.
Of course, Secretary Lopez was being modest. The truth of the matter is, even before the start of the ASEAN-India, DTI has already facilitated $1.250 billion in new investments in the Philippines and expected to generate 105,500 jobs. $1.250 billion expected to generate 105,500.
Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez also said they obtained at least 9 investment pledges and agreements from top Indian companies, which may strengthen the Philippines' economic relationship with the South Asian country. The investment pledges came from companies involved in pharmaceutics, information, technology, energy, tourism, medical wellness, and business processing management. Lopez said the government primarily wanted to prioritize pharmaceutics and business outsourcing as areas of cooperation with India. He said that in line with what President Rodrigo Duterte intends to achieve in his visit to India, the DTI met with the Pharmaceutical Export Council of India with focus on key medicines that will be needed especially by the poor. These include anti-hypertensive, anti-cholesterol, antibacterial, antibiotics, and anti-cancer drugs, among others. Meanwhile, the bilateral meeting between President Rodrigo Duterte and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi fostered a shared commitment to expand the two countries' ties, particularly in business and security. Roque said President Duterte emphasized that India and ASEAN must cooperate militarily in combating terrorism and threat of piracy. Aside from ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit, President Duterte attended India's Republic Day celebrations as state guest of honor along with his ASEAN counterparts. He also joined a bilateral meeting with top Indian conglomerates by noon. The President left New Delhi in the afternoon for Davao International Airport. Reporting for the PNA Newsroom, I'm Pengalino of Radio Pilipinas.
About 100 million pesos worth of agricultural produce have been destroyed due to the continuous activity of Mayon volcano in Albay. Here is our report.
The Department of Agriculture in Albay said the continuous eruption of Mayon volcano since January 13 had so far resulted in 100 million pesos worth of damage in rice, corn, and high-value crops, including vegetables and root crops. Chere Beta, DA Albay Provincial Director, said palay production incurred the biggest losses in all areas of agriculture industry. Albay lost a total of more than 12,000 metric tons of rice. For corn production, affected areas incurred a total of more than 291 metric tons of corn losses, worth about 7.5 million pesos. For assorted vegetables and root crops, areas affected incurred total losses of nearly 36,000 metric tons. More than 5,000 farmers were affected by the damage. The DA is collaborating with other agencies like TESDA, DOLE, and ACO Bicol Party List to intervene in providing alternative employment for them. As of Thursday, over 17,000 families are being served inside 67 evacuation centers, while about 2,000 families are being aided outside. Also, about 32 million pesos worth of assistance was provided by DSWD, DOH, Office of Civil Defense, local government units or LGUs, and non-government organizations or NGOs to the affected families in Albay. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
President Rodrigo Duterte promised to uncover the truth behind the Mama Sapano tragedy that claimed the lives of 44 Special Action Force commandos. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said justice for fallen SAF 44 heroes remain elusive exactly 3 years after the botched police operation in Mama Sapano, Maguindanao. He said President Duterte does not wish a repeat of a waste of lives and promising future of gallant Filipinos. He called on all members of the Philippine National Police to look back to the sacrifices of their fallen colleagues and urged people to offer their prayers for the 44 elite forces and their families. Duterte declared January 25 as a day of national remembrance for the troopers killed in Oplan Exodus on January 25, 2015. Oplan Exodus was planned to capture Malaysian terrorist and bomb expert Zulkifli Adhir alias Marwan and Filipino terrorist Abdul Basit Usman. The SAF troopers were able to kill Marwan, but an 11-hour encounter with the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters guerrillas left 44 SAF troopers, 18 MILF fighters, and 5 civilians dead. The UNICEF pointed out the economic costs brought about by malnutrition and its effects on children. It urged lawmakers to create policies that prioritize health care of children and mothers. Here is our report.
More than 29,000 children are dying annually due to the high prevalence of undernutrition in the country, making up 38% of all deaths among Filipino children under 5. UNICEF Philippines nutrition specialist Horace Van Hees revealed that the Philippines loses about 220 billion pesos per year due to the effects of undernutrition such as child stunting, anemia, and iodine deficiency. Van Hees said children need good nutrition and responsive care, including clean water and good sanitation to have a normal growth. Interventions, however, should target both mother and child as well as women of reproductive age. The study, Economic Consequences of Undernutrition in the Philippines, was presented in collaboration with the Department of Health and the National Nutrition Council, along with the Philippine Legislators' Committee on Population and Development. DOH Assistant Secretary Bernie Flores meanwhile said the Philippines is already considered a trailblazer on nutrition policies in the international community. This despite the Philippines being one of the 9 countries in the world with most cases of stunting among children. PLCPD Executive Director Romeo Dongeto said mainstreaming nutrition in the development agenda is one of the best approaches that the government could adopt to accelerate economic and social progress and at the same time fulfill the people's right to a happy and healthy life. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Giselle Danganan.
Tax collection efforts of the Bureau of Internal Revenue improved to 11.26% last year from an average of 10.5 to 10.9% in the last 5 years. BIR Commissioner Cesar Dulay said the Bureau did some last-minute moves last November and December as it urged taxpayers to be responsible on their dues. He said the BIR had a very good tax ratio and growth rate for 2017. Last year, the agency collected 1.77 trillion pesos, 97% of its 1.8 trillion goal. Revenues grew by 12.92%, higher than the 1.57 trillion pesos it collection in 2016. This year, BIR has been tasked to collect 2.39 trillion pesos. Dulay is optimistic of hitting their target after the improvement of collections they posted in 2017. Still to come, A surviving SAF trooper in the Mama Sapano encounter dies in a grenade explosion in Abra. Agriculture officials clear rice fields in Pangasinan of rat infestation. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues. A survivor of the Mama Sapano tragedy died on the 3rd anniversary of the death of his comrades at the Special Action Force. He was serving as a security officer when he was killed in a grenade attack in Abra. Here is our report.
Police Officer 3 Carlos Bocaig was one of the survivors of the bloody Mama Sapano encounter in January 25, 2015. But on the third-year death anniversary of his comrades in the Special Action Force, or SAF, he lost his life while serving as a security officer for an official of Abra Province. Bocaig was one of the close-in security of Congressman Joseph Bernos. Bernos and his wife, Mayor Menchi of La Paz, Abra, were watching the fireworks display at the town plaza around 1:30 a.m. following the program when a grenade exploded. Bocaig and fellow security officer PO2 Frenzel Kitoyan died while being treated in a medical facility. The Bernos couple were also injured but were reported to have been discharged on Thursday morning. Still confined were 7 other civilians. Reports from sources in Abra said the incident raised tension among residents. Every time an election nears, incidents of crimes against persons escalate, especially involving politicians. The incident was 3 years after the time when Bocaig, together with his team, entered Mama Sapano on a mission to arrest Malaysian terrorist and international bomb maker Zulkifli bin Hir, alias Marwan. Marwan was killed in the process. Bocaig was one of the gunners of the SAF Seaborne unit who attacked the house of Marwan. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Duterte administration aims to further decrease joblessness this year through the project set to be implemented under the Build, Build, Build program. Here is our report.
Malacanang expressed elation over the latest social weather station survey results showing fewer jobless Filipinos. Based on the latest SWS survey, average adult joblessness slid to 15.7% or 7.2 million adults from the previous 18.9% or 8.7 million adults, the lowest unemployment level since March 2004. In the meantime, net optimism on job availability rose to an excellent plus 41 in December 2017, up by 13 points from 28 in September and surpassed the previous record high of 37 in December 2016. The Duterte administration is eyeing to further reduce the unemployment figure through jobs created under the Build, Build, Build program. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the administration is on the right track in making sustainable and inclusive growth as part of the government's development plan. The palace spokesperson said government spending on infrastructure has risen considerably since Duterte came to power. According to the DBM, infrastructure disbursements rose by 44.8% in November last year, reaching 43.8 billion pesos. This was an increase from the 30.2 billion pesos released in the same month in 2016. Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno attributed the rise in infrastructure spending to the Duterte administration's Build, Build, Build program, which he said would usher in the country's golden age of infrastructure. Roque said that with the recent enactment of the train law, the administration's priority tax reform measure, Filipinos could expect more jobs available as major ticket infrastructure projects throughout the nation get off the ground. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
The ARMM regional government, through its Humanitarian Emergency Action and Response Team, reached out to thousands of families in Mama Sapano and other conflict-torn areas. The local government has also committed to build medical infrastructure to the affected municipalities. Here is our report.
Over 25,000 families displaced by the Mama Sapano conflict in 2015 received assistance from the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao through its Humanitarian Emergency Action and Response Team, or HEART. HEART, one of the flagship programs of Regional Governor Mujib Hataman, has reached the 15 municipalities inside the so-called SPMS box, which include the adjoining towns of Sharif Agwak, Pagatin, Mama Sapano, and Datu Salibo. It has conducted activities such as rapid disaster needs assessment, hazard incident management, and water rescue training in target areas. The office also conducted a series of psychosocial interventions with students in some schools near conflict areas. The regional government of the ARM has also been providing health and social protection assistance to communities in Maguindanao, the most conflict-affected province in the region. These initiatives include relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction of infrastructures and provision of livelihood programs, specifically in 15 towns of Maguindanao. The projects include 34 barangay health stations with 86.45% physical accomplishment. Meanwhile, 3 rural health units were expanded in the municipalities of Mama Sapano, Talitay, and Datu Piang, while the RHUs in Talayan and Datu Salibo are yet to be constructed. 15 deep wells with elevated water tanks and 15 communal toilets were also constructed in 12 municipalities. On April 21, 2017, a ceremonial groundbreaking was conducted for the construction of the Maguindanao Provincial Hospital Datu Piang Annex, which has a 25-bed capacity and would be worth over 46 million pesos. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Philippine Cervantes.
The Office of the Provincial Agriculturist in Pangasinan brushed aside reports of massive rat infestation in Santa Barbara town. Nestor Batalla, Assistant Provincial Agriculturist, said only the edges of rice fields were attacked by the rodents. He said the attack by rats is now under control with the distribution of poison spread by farmers in paths leading to the rodents' hiding places. Batalla said the emergence of rats at this period of the year when it is hot is normal, adding that they feed on rice because of the juice from the plant. If not controlled, the rats can devour all the standing rice crops planted during the second cropping season. Batalla said the earth dike between barangays Malanay and Talibao is possible where the rats are hiding. Batalla said OPAG still advised farmers to continue their monitoring of fields in their areas until their second crop rice plants have all been harvested by March. Mango growers in Ilocos Norte are worried about the infestation of cessid flies in the province. Governor Amy Marcos approved the allocation of funds for the purchase of pesticides and fertilizers to contain the mango infestation. The cessid fly resembles a big mosquito that attacks mango trees at night. They leave circular black marks on the mango fruit when they lay their eggs. Its larva soon goes inside the fruit, eventually destroying it. Cessid flies, which the farmers believe come from Pangasinan, attack the mango farms usually from the months of December to March. Last year, the infestation cost the growers 100,000 pesos in damages to their produce. Ricardo Tolentino, president of the Ilocos Norte Mango Growers Federation, reiterated to fellow mango growers that in case they notice an infestation, they are advised to gather and burn all the damaged mangoes. Up next, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency destroys over 500 million pesos worth of illegal drugs. A restaurant in Ilocos Norte becomes a tourist destination because of its halo-halo and other Ilocano dishes. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
there is some additional benefit to the teachers in terms of lower tax payment, so that's more money in their pockets. And so our preference is that we let the Trans 3 and Trans 4 finish its course, and then we will propose a study.
The Philippine National Police issued a simplified list of do's and don'ts to be observed during Tokhang house visits and other anti-drug operations. This move complies with PNP Chief Director General Ronald De La Rosa's earlier pledge to have less bloody anti-drug operations. PNP spokesperson Chief Superintendent Jonardo Carlos said the supplemental guidelines consider respect for human rights and strict adherence to the rule of law, transparency, accountability, and command responsibility. The guidelines stipulate that Tokhang operations shall target suspected illegal drug personalities listed by intelligence. Police Tokhang teams in proper uniform must be led by a police commissioned officer and shall conduct operations from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. The use of body camera and similar video recording gadgets is also highly encouraged. In documenting surrenderers, the taking of mugshots and fingerprints should also be voluntary and not mandatory. The PNP vows to impose sanctions for unwarranted violation of these guidelines. The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency destroyed a total of 563 million pesos worth of illegal drugs in Malabon. Destroyed through thermal decomposition include over 112,000 grams of methamphetamine hydrochloride or shabu worth 560 million pesos, cocaine, marijuana, ecstasy, ephedrine, niazepam, and expired medicines. PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino lauded the efforts of the different branches of regional trial courts in Antipolo, Dagupan, Las Piñas, Makati, Malolos, Bulacan, Mandaluyong, Manila, Parañaque, Pasig, and Quezon, and the Court of Appeals Manila for the speedy prosecution and disposition of the drug cases. The destruction was the third since Aquino assumed as PDEA Director General. The first one is on October 2017, where over 10 million pesos worth of chemicals and laboratory equipment was destroyed, while on the second was on November, where about 6 billion pesos worth of dangerous drugs were destroyed. The nationwide 2018 PSC Pacquiao Amateur Boxing Cup resumes hostilities with the Luzon preliminaries on January 27 and 28 in Sorsogon City. The Boxing Cup formally opened in General Santos City with the Mindanao preliminary last December 16 to 17. The winners of the Luzon preliminaries will advance into the quarterfinals on February 24 and 25 in Lucena City. The semifinals will be on March 17 in Pangasinan, while the finals is on April 7 in Baguio City. The winners will next see action in the national preliminaries on April 14 to 15. It will be followed by the national quarterfinals on April 21st to 22nd in Tagbilaran City and national semifinals on April 28 in Tagum City. The national finals will return to Gensan on May 5. Philippine Sports Commission Chair Butch Ramirez said that cash incentives would be given to the gold, silver, and bronze medalists. The outstanding boxers will also join the national training pool in Baguio City. Part of the attraction of Philippine provinces as tourist destinations is the local cuisine. In La Union, a restaurant serving halo-halo and other native dishes with a twist has become a popular destination. Here is our report.
To get the best gastronomic experience when in the Ilocos provinces, make sure to visit Halo-Halo de Iloco and taste all the best Filipino regional cuisine made with a twist. Halo-Halo de Iloco started its operation in April 18, 2004. The facility was the ancestral house of Xavier Mercado, which he converted to a restaurant. In naming the place, Mercado adapted the idea from the widely visited Museum of Agoo, Museo de Iloco. Some of their dishes include Okoy Tixiosco and homemade longanisa best dipped in their best-selling in-house recipe, sumayat vinegar. Other favorites are buknok, sour chicken stew in coconut shell, seafood pinakbet, pansit palabocano, pansit en grande, Ilocano Express, sinampalukang kambing, and fried bagnet. Food and beverages supervisor Kenneth Bessin said that their bestseller is their halo-halo, which comes in 3 different servings. The Fiesta Halo-Halo that costs 99 pesos, Boko Halo-Halo at 195 pesos, and the Fried Halo-Halo at 150 pesos with its ingredients wrapped in lumpia wrapper. Bessin said their peak season is from December to summer season when locals and tourists order their best-selling halo-halo. When asked what makes them different among other restaurants, he confidently said that their ingredients are all natural and sourced locally to help farmers and to ensure that what their customers are eating are healthy. Proof of its popularity is people lining up just to get a seat and enjoy the sumptuous Ilocano dishes with a twist, with even the popular and prominent people in the country dropping by to taste what Halo-Halo de Iloco offers. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's headlines. The Philippines gains $1.25 billion worth of investments as President Duterte attends the ASEAN-India Cooperative Summit. A surviving SAF trooper in the Mama Sapano encounter dies in a grenade explosion in Abra. About 100 million pesos worth of crops are reported destroyed in the eruption of Mayon volcano. And a restaurant in Ilocos Norte becomes a tourist destination because of its halo-halo and other Ilocano dishes. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and all that is doing for the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.